Hi everybody, and welcome back to Fang Friday. This is Ross Healy, the Chairman of Strategic Analysis Corporation and a Senior Portfolio Manager at McNichol & Associates Asset Management. Today will be a shortened Fang Friday edition for the simple reason that the recent trends in motion have continued to play out and have stayed within the parameters that I've already clearly laid out. A quick review, I think, is all that is really needed for today. As a reminder, however, I will be appearing on BNN at noon on July the 5th, a little over 2 weeks from now. So mark it on your calendar. And by the way, if you have any questions on any other stocks that you would like me to answer, send your questions to marketcall@bnnbloomberg.ca. And if you do it ASAP, there's a good chance that they will schedule them for when I appear. Now, before we take a close look at the SVA charts, as always, I like to say thanks again to everyone who likes this video and all our subscribers. Just click the red subscribe button below if you have not yet subscribed. Okay, we'll start off with Alphabet, which, well, as you know, this has kind of been my own pet favorite stock ever since we picked it up back down here in March of last year at its super growth price, and as I said, with your heart in your hand, and this stock has done very, very nicely since. It looks very much as if it's heading for its bubble price, and it should be able to get there quite easily. Facebook, I think, is also going to get to its bubble price as well. And by the way, those are both 7.4 times earnings. It's already exceeded the last time that it reached its bubble price back in late 2020, and should get there again, I think, quite handily. Finally, the last stock in which I consider to be kind of my FANG portfolio is Microsoft, which just continues to move right along its HB2 price, which is, by the way, about 12 times book value. Mercifully, in the last few months, all of the stock action has been above the HB2, so it hasn't given me any heart attacks there by dropping below, as it did in the 6 months prior to the recent action. NVIDIA, well, we never really got a chance to buy NVIDIA on that check back from its first trip to its HB4 a little while ago, but the stock has broken out, and well, it sort of broke out and pulled back, and it looks to be heading higher. Who cares about which way that the Bitcoin appears to be headed? I guess the shortage of semiconductors is working in NVIDIA's favor and dragging the stock, or pushing the stock maybe higher. Amazon has kind of hooked around, if you like, and appears very much as if it's heading back for its HB3. If I put my cursor on here and draw basically a flat line top on the stock for the conventional technical analyst, the stock is actually getting right back to that trend line, which is now, I guess, a little over, well, it's just about a year old, and it's going to be interesting to see, by the way, what happens when it gets there, if it can actually break out above its technical trend line, which will have to do just even to get to the SVA breakpoint value at its HB3. Apple has actually kind of followed the example, if you like, of Amazon, and has now forming a nice little bond. It could easily get to its HB5, that's only $143, and it's $131 now. So if the Standard & Poor's can go up another 18%, surely Apple can get back to its HB5. I don't particularly care for the long-term fundamental earnings outlook for the stock. And given how expensive the company actually is and how high above its real fair market value is, I would be very much inclined to sell given the opportunity back at its HB5. Finally, Netflix. Well, look at poor Netflix. It's just kind of dragging its butt and not really participating in the trend that actually now virtually all of the other FANGs have joined in. So it's going to be interesting to see whether it can rebound and get to its own HB3 with a strong market background or not. As you know, I am concerned about the long-term fundamentals of this company and the tremendous pressure, competitive pressures that are building overall. In summary, Alphabet and Facebook continue their move towards their respective bubble prices. That's 7.4 times book value, which should be easy targets to achieve. Microsoft, it's not exciting, but is holding in nicely at and above its HB2 price, or 12 times book. They are all safely in what I call my Phantom Fang portfolio. NVIDIA has broken out over its HB4 price, or 20 times book. Check back a little bit before moving on, as I said to you many times over the past 2 years to expect. I continue to be a little uncertain as to its potential because of the poor action of Bitcoin. However, in strict SVA terms, the stock, when it broke out, was a buy and hopefully should get to its next breakpoint. Amazon is rallying back to its HB3 price, and I expected it should easily get there, as I suggested to you a couple of weeks ago. Could happen as the S&P heads to a low super growth price target. After that, however, we'll have to wait and see. As I suggested recently, could and maybe even should occur. Apple looks to be joining Amazon and maybe rallying all the way back to its HB5. That's 26 times book value. Weak long-term potential or not. And so, if anyone is still holding, there may be a better time to sell. Netflix is the only stock that does not seem to be interested in taking part in any market rally, real or putative, and I really am not surprised. Now, what are your takeaways for this week? First, it appears to me that this week the Fed pandered nicely to what the market wanted to hear, and Powell did it without actually doing anything or changing the Fed's present course of action one whit. Second, however, that may be enough to provide some additional impetus, if any is needed, for further market strength to help the S&P to reach our LSG price target, currently now modestly above the 5,000 mark. En tout cas, for now, this has been Ross Healy, the chairman of Strategic Analysis Corporation and a senior portfolio manager at McNichol & Associates Asset Management, reminding you that nothing, including investing, is difficult if you have the right tools. I'll see you next Friday.